Hi everyone, welcome back to our Tuesday night series. Tonight I thought what we would do is talk about using kits. Kits are wonderful for traveling because typically they'll have just about everything in them that you would need to create cards or a project. One of my favorite kits is Paper Pumpkin. And Paper Pumpkin just celebrated its 5th anniversary. And so I got the 5-year anniversary kit, and that's what we're going to be working with tonight. So lots of wonderful things in here. Some past Paper Pumpkin kits have included things such as shaker cards, mini stockings for Christmas that were so much fun to decorate with the grandchildren, even some watercoloring cards, just a sample of the types of cards and projects that you can do with Paper Pumpkin. And Paper Pumpkin is purchased through Stampin' Up, so you'll be able to go out to my blog, and there's a shop button there that will take you right into my Stampin' Up store, and you can purchase your Paper Pumpkin several different ways. You can get it a 1-month subscription, which you pay for that month, and then it's you're not committed to anything else. We also have 3-month, 6-month, and year subscriptions. Now the really nice thing, as Celebration comes to a close on the 31st, if you purchase a 3-month subscription, you qualify to get a free Celebration item. And you've seen me in the past use things such as the springtime foils, also a couple of the different stamp sets that you can purchase for free. So if you're thinking about a Paper Pumpkin, especially after you see what we're going to do today, hurry on over and put your order in so that you'll qualify for the Celebration items before they end. All right, so what exactly is Paper Pumpkin? I've told you that it's a kit and that it contains just about everything that you'll need to create projects. So let's dive right into this one. Comes in a box every month, so it's handy to store all of your materials in if you end up only doing a few things and not completing them all. And when you open it up, it's almost like Christmas. Comes wrapped in pretty paper, and the first thing you'll notice is they all come with what's called a stamping spot. Let me bring this up so you can see it a little bit better. And this month is the Early Espresso. Now these inks exactly mirror our Stampin' Up inks, so you can just kind of collect them, and then when you travel you'll have the inks just like the big full pads that you can purchase from us. So I'll set that to one side. If you're a first-time Paper Pumpkin subscriber, they even will include a glass block for you to use to mount your stamps on. So let's go ahead and open it up. The next thing you'll notice is the stamp set itself. And here we have, I guess I could turn it around the right way here, different sentiments as well as a few floral images. So we have the flower, the leaf. We have this really pretty flourish, which we'll be using. And then we've got the different sentiments here. There's one for Happy Mother's Day. So this came in time for you to create cards for Mother's Day. May good things grow all year long. Happy birthday. Hello. And then the last one says, what a beautiful friendship we've grown. And I just love that sentiment. Then you open it up and you get into the meat and potatoes. Now, because this is the 5th anniversary for Paper Pumpkin, they even included a freebie gift for us, and it's these lovely wood veneers. We got 2 sheets of them, flowers and leaves and buds, and you can use these as embellishments on your card. You can even color them with your Stampin' Blends or your Stampin' Write markers. So lots of different options with that. We have some baker's twine. They always give you way more than you need to complete the product. So it's a nice little stash builder. This is in our Whisper White. We have a whole bunch of fresh fig finely woven ribbon. And let me just open it up so you can see how luxurious this ribbon is. And like I said, there is a ton of it. So way more than you need for the project. Looking for an end here. There we go. And we will be using this on our cards, but it is just lush. And again, way more than you need. There are some brads in here. This is my first time using brads, but I've watched other people use them, and they add a nice element to your card. In this case, we're going to be using them on the envelopes, though. And then we have some pearls, and these are in the Fresh Fig and the Powder Pink. And then I'm going to open up. Now, I've already opened mine. It does come with everything plastic wrapped for you. But you always get an instruction sheet, and the front will show you the projects that you make. So there are two different cards. We have this one here that uses our Powder Pink and the Fresh Fig on a crumb cake background. And then we have this lovely one here, which is crumb cake and Fresh Fig with a lot of the different die cuts on it. And you can see here the envelopes. I know they look like cards, but they're actually envelopes, and I just love them. And then if you open it up, it has our instructions. So I'm going to put that over to one side because I'm an instructions kind of a gal, so I will be following them. And then I'll pull out the rest of the packet, and I'm going to set aside my paper pumpkin box to get it out of the way. So here's what we have. This is the envelope that it comes wrapped in. Like I said, I already opened mine so I could get an idea of what it would look like. And the first thing that we have here, you'll notice here are the envelopes. And I've got some card fronts mixed in with them. But there are two different envelopes. One of them is this beautiful rose pattern that says flower seeds on it. And it's big enough. I turn it over, you actually could stick a packet of flower seeds in there along with your card. So really lovely. They're pretty by themselves, but we'll actually embellish it as well. So there's that one, and then here's the second one. Really pretty, flourish it at the top and on the corners, and then there's writing in the background, seeds to make your day a bit happier. So very, very pretty. I'll just set these up here. They send you your card bases already pre-cut and scored. So we've got two different colors. We have our crumb cake over here and our Fresh Fig. And then we have card fronts. So these are what we will put our sentiments on. Again, two different ones. We have the pink, which is kind of a little dotted, like almost a Swiss dot, but in groups pattern, which is the Powder Pink and the Whisper White. That's going to go with our crumb cake. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous floral, which will go with our Fresh Fig. These are our die cuts, and we get enough sheets of these to make all 8 cards, plus decorate our envelopes. So as you can see, we have this really big floral design that will go on one of the envelopes, and then we have these smaller flowers along with leaves, and then these punch outs which we'll use to stamp our sentiments on, and there are different sizes and shapes. Then you'll see we've got these green dots and the Fresh Fig dots, and what those are for, and I know this shows up as kind of an orange, but it's actually green. These will be on the back side of the envelope. We're going to attach them to where we add the brads, and we're going to use our baker's twine to wrap around the brads as a means of closing the envelope. So those are all the things that we're going to be working with today. Lastly, they give you, we've got some die cuts that have adhesive on them, and we'll be putting these on the design panels of our cards to add some extra interest. And these are in yellow and also in powder pink. A few more sentiment labels here. tons of dimensionals, and this is wonderful. You all know how I love to use dimensionals to pop up certain elements of the card, and they gave us a hefty amount to be able to use. And then, so you don't have to bring your liquid glue or your mini glue dots with you when you travel, they actually have a sheet here of the glue dots that you can use. And then our cardboard backing. So let's go ahead and get started. The card that I thought we would make today is going to be this one right here. Let me bring that up so you can see that. So the one that has the powder pink design panel with the flowers and the sentiment and the fresh fig ribbon will go along with that beautiful rose envelope. That's what we're going to be making today. So I'll pull out the pieces that we need for that. We're going to be using our crumb cake card base. So we need one of those. Our powder pink design panel. We'll need, looks like one of these sentiment labels. And then we'll need some of the fresh fig ribbon. Let me just bring that back in so you can see. We'll actually cut 2 pieces and it will go right behind our sentiment panel. And then we need one more sentiment panel to stamp our hello on for the envelope. So let me find that one. And it is right here. So I'll go ahead and pop that out. So those are our 2 sentiment panels. The first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp my sentiments. It's always good to get your stamping out of the way first. That way you can just go ahead and assemble things. So I'll bring in my block and my stamp set. And then if I can figure out where I put my stamping spot. Come on, you're here somewhere. There it is. And the 2 sentiments that we're going to be using on this one are, may good things grow all year long. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one off and mount it. Now the way I like to mount things, because I can never just slap them on the block and have them be straight, is I go ahead and lay it down on the actual sentiment panel and try to line it up without my finger sticking too much to it. And then I bring my block to it, press down, and it should be on there fairly straight. I'm going to break the seal on our Stampin' Spot. And if you have a bunch of these Stampin' Spots, there are some really cool ways to store them. I used to do a lot of beading for jewelry work, and I found that a plastic container that had divided compartments for beads actually worked perfectly for my Stampin' Spots. So you just never know what you're going to be able to find to put things in. And I never throw anything out, as all my friends will tell you. So I have a whole closet full of things that can be used. Let me break out my scissors here. I have to show you guys something. My brother has a 3D printer, and he made this for me. Is this not the coolest thing? Stands on my desk, holds my glue, my scissors, my tweezers, my pokey tool, even my wink of Stella. He's such a sweet brother. Okay, let's see if I can do this without going in and slicing my fingers off. If I'm a little bit shaky, you guys will have to excuse me. I woke up this morning with a stomach bug that was really nasty, but I think everything's good now. All right. And because my stamping spot is pretty small, rather than try and run the stamp over it, I'm going to bring it to the stamp and ink my stamp up that way. So look at it. I want to make sure I've got it nice and inky, because this is the first time I'm using it. And don't be afraid if this is the first time you're using something. to go ahead and take a scrap piece of paper and stamp it on it just to make sure. So I happen to have a scrap piece of paper here, and I can go ahead, put it on there, and see if I need to be extra juicy with my ink pad, or extra generous, I should say, putting a lot of ink on there. I didn't even clean it off because I wanted that little residual of ink since it was the first time I was stamping it. I want to make sure that I get a lot of ink on there. And I got a little too much on my corners, so I'll bring my little chamois over and just clean off my corners so I don't get it all over the sentiment where I don't want it. Okay. Line up my sentiment here, or my panel, I should say. I think I want a little bit more ink on that. It's just really, the first time you use them, sometimes you have to ink them up several times before they really hold on to that ink. Now I'm going to line this up. Pardon me if my head gets in the way. Put it down, and you want to give it a good press. You don't have to act like you're trying to send it through the earth to China or anything, but just give it a good, even, steady press. With a new stamp, I like to do it for 4 or 5 seconds just to make sure that that ink has a chance to make good contact with the paper. And there we go. So we've got, that's going to be the sentiment for the card itself. Now I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Amy. Thank you for joining. And I'm going to do the hello one. So those are the only 2 sentiments we're going to need. Put this one back. And again, I'm going to bring out my little sentiment label and make sure I have my hello going the right way. I guess it doesn't really matter on this since I can always turn it around if I don't get it right. And then put it down. And once again, we're going to go ahead and ink it up. Bring it here. And press it down, again holding even pressure since it's the first time I've used the stamp. Give it a couple of extra seconds. And there's our hello. And that's all the stamping we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and close up my ink spot and put that away. Okay. Just put those aside for the moment. And let's start working on our card. So I want to take our design panel. Remember, your design panel is what you're going to go ahead and attach to the card base. And this is what we're going to do our decorating on. And I take it back. There's a little more stamping because it has the flourish stamp at each of the 4 corners. So I'll bring back in my stamp set. There's the flourish. And I know I'm going to be using this flourish on so many different things. So that's the other bonus of having these stamp sets in the kit, is that even when the supplies are gone from your kit, you still have the stamp set and you can use it to make many more projects. So I'll just go ahead and line that up as best I can. Looks about right. Come on, let go of my finger. They do like to stick to you. Okay. Got it on there. Bring back my my ink spot, or my stamping spot. And once again, I'm going to ink this up. And this, we just want in all 4 corners. It's a lovely way to accent those corners. Do it again. Until we get all 4 corners inked up. You can see what a lovely, lovely interest that it adds to our design panel. And even though the design panel is pretty busy with that tiny print, this, I think, helps ground it. So it's going to be the perfect frame for our sentiment. Hi, Lori. Thank you for joining. Nice to see you on. All right, my last one. And I didn't drop my stamp once. I'm famous for doing that. Okay, now we really are done with that. So I'll put it away. The next thing, I'll bring this back in here so that you can see, is we're going to use some ribbon. So I need 2 lengths of the fresh fig ribbon. And if I open this up, it will even tell me how long my lengths need to be. And there's even a ruler at the bottom that I can go ahead and measure my ribbon. So let me bring back my fresh fig, finding a corner, and I'm going to need 2 pieces of this. So let's take and just going to cut this off. I don't have my good scissors with me, but I think it'll work. And we'll probably even have to trim that down. But we're going to put 1 piece there, and then we're going to do another piece right next to it. And we're going to angle our ends. And the easiest way I've found to do that is to put the ribbon together. And then you can cut your ends with it. Ooh, I've got all kinds of gunk on this. So I hope it's going to cut okay, but let's just try it and see. Oh, I didn't cut that at very good an angle, but we'll come back to it. And then I want to do the same on this side. That's a better angle. So let me go back here and cut this one also at an angle. And what I'm going to end up doing is kind of, the reason I'm cutting them together is I'm going to open it up so that it looks like that. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces of ribbon cut. They're both exactly the same length. And you can kind of see, this is how I'm going to go ahead and lay them down so that they match what it shows on our card. And I'm going to attach those down with the glue dots. So let me just grab some of these. And if you'd rather use, if you've got the mini glue dots in the box and you'd rather use those because you think they're easier to work with and save these for traveling, you certainly can do that. But since I have these right here, I'm just going to put them down, making sure that my ribbon is going to end up facing the right way. So as you can see, these glue dots are really easy to work with. All right, you can even, I think I'm going to put one in the middle of each too so I don't get any buckling. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm just going to peel the backings off. Try to put them where I can find them later for easy cleanup. And if we look at our card here, what you'll see is that the ribbon is over more towards the right, so it's not in the center. So I'm just going to make sure that I have it more towards the right-hand side. I think that's pretty good. So we've got one down. Now I'll put the next one down. And I'm just going to turn it sideways so I can see to line it up. Keep my big old head out of the way. And there we go. So, got my ribbon down. The next thing that I'm going to do is to put the sentiment that we stamped down on it. And that's going to go right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pop my sentiment up with the dimensionals. So let me just pull a couple off. And like I said, you get a ton of these. And I'm just going to do one at the top and one at the bottom. You certainly can put more on if you think it's necessary. And then I'll go ahead and peel these off. Decide where I want it on here. So line it up, gently place it down without pressing. That way you can pick it up and look at it. And if it's crooked, you can make adjustments. All right, now we're ready to proceed to putting on the flowers. And this one has 2 flowers on it. It's got a yellow one. So we'll take that one. And it's also got a powder pink one. And then it's got one of the leafy patterns here. This one right here as well. That's the 3-leaf. It's got one of the 2-leaf ones as well. Okay, now here we can have a little bit of fun. You can position these wherever you like. So for instance, I could tuck one behind and lay one on top of that, making sure I'm not covering up my sentiment, and then place my leaves. Or if I want to get really fun with it, I can pop them both up. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put down my yellow one first, and this will make it easy for me to put my leaves where I need them to go. So come on, pop up. Okay. Then I'm going to decide where I want this. This is where my reverse tweezers would come in handy, but unfortunately, I left those back home. Okay, so I've got that one popped up. Now, if I only use one for this one, like I did the other one, it's going to lay right on top of that. There's nothing that says you can't use more than one dimensional. So I'm going to pop this one up with 2. So I'll put one on there, peel the backing, pull another one, put it right on top of that. Peel the backing off it. And now when I place this on there, it's going to sit up even higher. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but I'll bring it up. It definitely makes it sit up even more above. And now that makes it easy for me to come in and decide where my leaves are going to go. So I think I'm going to put them just like that. And these I'm going to put down with glue dots. So I want them to lay flat against the page. So I'll come back in here and just grab one of those for the smaller set. Peel it off. I'm going to stick it under the flower and on top of the ribbon, although you could even put it under the ribbon if you want. And then on this one, I think I'll probably put 2 or 3 since it's a bigger die cut. So we'll definitely put one up here on the top of the leaf, and then maybe 2 of them, one on either side. So just like that, I've got all 3 of my glue dots on. Pull off the backing. Come on. Sometimes it's hard for me to get under these. There we go. And now again, I'm just going to decide where I want this, slide it under. I'm not pressing down yet, so I can adjust it if I need to, but I like it right there. And there's our design panel. So the last thing is to go ahead and attach this to our card base. And I've got our crumb cake card base. I think this is crumb cake. Could be Sahara sand, but looks a little more like crumb cake to me. So I'm going to go ahead and Put that down, and then I can either use my glue dots to glue it flat, or I can prop it up with my dimensionals. If you're going to be mailing this, you probably want to, if you pop up a lot of the embellishments, you may want to lay this flat. But since I'll probably be handing this to someone, I'm going to go ahead and again use my dimensionals to pop the design panel up. So one in each corner, I think will do it. Peel these off. Boy, these are stubborn ones. There we go. So most of the time that trick of pressing in helps, but every once in a while you get one that just doesn't want to leave mama. See if I can encourage him. There we go. Make sure I have this the right way. And then I'm going to bring it down, put it where I want it on here. I haven't pressed it down yet, so I can move it around, but I like that. And there we go. There is the card. But we're not done yet. We still have those pretty pearls that came with the paper pumpkin. If I can lay my hands on them here, I want to go ahead, there they are, and add a few of those. I think they'll be nice accents. So I'm going to open this up, which can be a trick in itself. There we go. I have to squinch it around so I can see where they've got the folded over part. They always package these really well. Well, when all else fails, there we go. Had it on the wrong side. So I'll pull these out, and I think I'm going to use the fresh fig ones on here. So I'll take just different sizes and pick them up. And let's see, I want one right here, down by my leaf. And let's do another one. How about right over here? And then you know me and my triangles. So I'm going to get a third one. I'm going to use a little one this time and put it right there. You certainly can add more if you like, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll put these aside. Okay, now we get to move on to the envelope. So we're not even done yet. And the envelope that goes with this one is this really pretty floral one. And remember, we stamped our hello, which is going to go on this. But it needs a piece of ribbon to help it stand out. So I'm going to bring back in my fresh fig, and I'm just going to measure out a bit and cut it. We want to make sure that we cut enough to where it peeks out behind our sentiment. And again, I'm going to use glue dots. We have plenty of them, so we might as well use them. And they hold the ribbon really well, very secure. Again, I'm going to use 3 on this one. Don't like the middle of my ribbon bunching up if I can help it. And I'm going to decide where, come on, stick down, where I want my sentiment. If I want it in the middle, I would put my ribbon there. I think I'm going to have it a little bit towards the top. I don't want to cover up that rose very much. So I'll go ahead and lay this down. And now I can take my sentiment And yep, you guessed it, I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. So I'll take a couple of these dimensionals, one on either side. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's try the other one. Yep, that one came off easy. And there we go. Oops, don't want to put it on the wrong way. Line this up. Take my sentiment and gently place it down. Decide if I like it there. If I don't, I needed to move it over just a little bit. Like that. And there we go. And we think we're done with the envelope. It sure looks pretty, doesn't it? But remember those brads I talked about? That's where these come in here. So it's already got the holes there for us to put the brads through. And we're going to take these fresh fig circles and use those right behind the brads to make it look finished. And I'll bring 2 brads in. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke the brad through the fresh fig circle, and it does have a cutout in the middle, so cutout will fall away, just like that. And then I'm going to put one on this side, just like that, because remember we're going to be folding that flap over. And then I want to bend down my brad. Come on. See, this is another case where my pokey tool would come in handy. Now, when you bend these over, you don't want your brad to be super, super tight because you need to get some string in back of it. So leave a little bit of play when you're bending the prongs down. Now I'm going to do the same thing. And this one's a little trickier because it's actually inside the envelope, but we'll see if we can get it. I'm going to start the prongs before I stick it in there, so I'll be able to quickly get my finger in there. Oh my goodness. I can almost see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm not going to do it a lot, but I just want to make sure that when I put this in there, that my fingers will be able to easily work in and spread out the brads, she said, with a smile. Okay, Linda, you're right-handed, so why did you even try to do that with your left hand? Yep. See if I can spread them out just a little bit more. Put them in there. And you need long fingers for this, I think, and mine just aren't very long. But let's see if I can manage. I've got one prong bent over. Maybe I can turn it around while it's in there so I can reach the other one. There we go. Now I've got both of them. Okay, and so the last thing we need to do is take our baker's twine. And I'm going to cut off. I want it to go around several times, so I think I'm going to use probably about 24 inches or so. It'll probably be too much, but like I said, they give you tons. So we'll snip that off. And then I'm going to fold over my flap, get it started on this side by working it a couple turns. And then you're going to be able to come down here, and if I haven't gotten that too tight, you can see how you can go back and forth between them to close up your envelope. And I'll cut a little bit of a tail on that one. All right, so now we have our envelope closed up. that's the project that I wanted to show you. Let me move all of this out of the way so you can get a good look. So we made the card, and this was just one of the designs. Remember, there's a whole nother design you can do, and there's the envelope that goes with it. Does anyone have any questions? Remember, the instructions are pretty clear to follow with your paper pumpkins. Next week, though, on Tuesday, what I'm going to talk about is how you can use the contents of your paper pumpkin to make alternative types of cards. So you don't necessarily have to stick to the patterns that they give you in the instructions. So next week we'll take one and we'll have some fun with it and see what kind of a design we can come up with. All right, well, I want to thank everyone for joining. Those of you who may be new to my Facebook, it's Cards by Winnie, spelled W-Y-N-N-I-E. And you can purchase any supplies, including the paper pumpkin cuts, by visiting my blog, which is www.cardsbywinnie.wordpress.com. I'd be more than happy to help you with any questions that you may have. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll see you all next week. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Bye-bye now.